Hello lovelies, and welcome to this week's video, which is about Samhain. I'm going to give a quick history and then give some ideas. Alright, so Samhain itself is when the veil between life and death grows to the thinnest. It's also known as a pagan new year, and it is also the final harvest. Like I said in the Mabon video, that Mabon was like the second of three harvest festivals. This is the third, and it's the final. It's the end of the harvest and the beginning of the winter, which is like the darkness. So Mabon was where everything was like half and half. We had the light and the darkness. Now we're going into a stage of darkness. This is, with the veil being so thin, it's the perfect time to honor the dead. So this is also the time when pagans, Wiccans, witches, honor the dead and will set aside foods or gifts for dead relatives, good spirits, and just, you know, the dead that they may have had some type of closeness to or whatever. It's also a great time to try and communicate to the dead and also to do some amazing magic to bring forth for the new year and for a new start. And October 31st and November 1st is always the perfect time when all the bad and all the negative things that have happened wash away and everything, and it's a chance to restart and have a clean slate on things. So that's one explanation of what Samhain is. Another is, that, like I said, it's basically a time to really be honoring the dead and to be thankful and be honoring the past year and our past and trying to move forward and putting the past behind us. So again, it's a great time to like have a clean slate and fresh start, do great magic, and contact the dead. So a lot of people think that Samhain is just on Halloween, because Halloween developed over the years out of the idea of Samhain, and then the Catholics took Samhain and made it All Saints Day, which is November 1st. So Samhain is actually like the sun sets on the 31st, is the beginning of it, because it is the Celtic New Year. So it starts at the sunset of the 31st and goes into the next day, which is when the veil is at its thinnest. So both holidays kind of were taken. My views on the Christians and all that kind of stuff. So the old year has passed. The past is in the past, and it's time for new beginnings. Period. Perfect time to restart things. Ways that we can honor our ancestors is through Celtic tradition, they would spread festivities over 3 consecutive days. You can hold a ritual or a feast each night. Be flexible though. You don't have to do that. That's just what the normal ritual, what the normal thing was. And also, you probably still want to be involved in like trick-or-treating or Halloween type events, because it is part of our culture as Americans. But also keep in mind that whatever we put out on that night is what we create for the upcoming years. So if you are something dark or something whatever, even though I'm a horror freak, being something that's horrifying and dark on that day is probably going to cause for a darkness to occur for the next year. Just like last year I was Cleopatra, and this year I was extremely demanding, and more so than I normally am as a person, and very strong-willed female that was very like, in your face. And this year I'm going to be a nice kitty so that I'm more sensitive and sweet for this upcoming year, and that more positive things happen. So anyways, the earth, another thing to keep in mind is the earth is slowly begins to die around us. Literally. That's why it's the final harvest. So it's a good time for us to look at wrapping up the old, like I just said, and preparing for the new in our lives. So again, October 31st and November 1st is a good time. It's the best time of the whole year to start new things in our lives. if you're going to move, if you're going to get married, if you're going to go to school, if you're going to do any of that kind of stuff, planning and having preparations on those days are probably the best to do. It's also a good time to like meditate and think about, have you left anything unresolved? Is anything unresolved? If so, it's time to wrap things up and move forward. So, and then I'm going to put below like different rituals you can do for Samhain, because I don't want to make this video like hella long. But I'm going to say some things that are some tips for like the modern Wiccan or witch or pagan that you can do. So you can bob for apples. You can make jack-o'-lanterns, bake soul cakes and share them. You can honor the dead by eating apples and cinnamon foods, and also leaving them for them by putting them to the earth or leaving them out on what would be Halloween night, because that's Samhain Eve, just like New Year's Eve in American culture is the 31st of December. 31st of October is Samhain's Eve, basically. So you can make a jack-o'-lantern with a white candle inside to light the ways for the spirits. There's a lot of things that you can do. And remember, these are things that were also stolen from the pagans by people now for Halloween purposes. So those are things that you can do if you kind of don't want to be obvious that you are a witch. Another thing is like peel an apple and you can write the first letter of your soulmate's name to try and like bring forth a new, which I would actually say is your twin flame, not your soulmate, if you go back to my old videos. There's also hanging sheets, which is a Scottish ritual, which I'll put below to save time so I don't go in depth about it. And spin the apple, which is another thing I'll put below. So like this list all came from a Tumblr thing that I'm giving you right now for like discreetness. So I'll actually put that there. The hazelnut fortune is another one they have written. The barmbat cake, which is a coin, things that you'd fill it with is a coin to predict prosperity, a key to signify a journey, a thimble to spinsterhood, a button to indicate a man will remain a bachelor, a scrap of cloth to predict poverty. You can put a bunch of things in for whatever your purpose is. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. I'm trying to save time. This was more about just telling you what Samhain is. And, yeah. So, also, I have only two left, Samhain kits left, like full ritual kits, on my Etsy. So, you might want to get at those. It includes 2 crystals, and includes the Samhain potion. It includes a dressed black candle with herbs and oils that are specifically for Samhain, as well as it includes a larger container of the Samhain herb mixture that can be used for incense, it can be used for altar herbs, it can be used for a ritual bath, it can be used for numerous things. And then each of those things are also sold separately, except for the stones, which leads me to orange and black. You should have around you a lot on Samhain. They are protective colors. They are also colors for contacting the dead. And again, are things that were stolen for Halloween. And the reason that I thought of that as I was discussing my kit was because my kit, you'll notice once you get it or once you go to my Etsy page, is that most of it's orange and black. A lot of the herbs that are used are orange-ish or yellowish. The crystals I got were orange calcite and black obsidian, and they're like huge raw black obsidian that like there's a piece that is this big, no joke. So yeah, I'm like, you need a lot of protection on this day as well, but it's mainly for contacting dead ancestors and breaching that veil, celebrating this past year and life itself, and putting out what you want for the next upcoming year. And again, it is the perfect time for any positive things to actually go well. So starting a move, starting something big in your life on October 31st to November 1st is probably the best time, because those days is what is going to set for the rest of the year. So that's all I have to say about it. I'm trying to keep my videos shorter, except for my goddess series. So like, love, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, like my Facebook page, check out my Etsy site. I'm also selling other protective stones that might help with your altar. So check out my Samhain ritual altar kit. And I'll put some links below for other ideas of things that you can do, because I really want to more explain what Samhain actually was and kind of get rid of the whole idea of like, oh, it's this dark time where we're like praising Satan and the dark spirits. So yeah, like, love, subscribe, share, and that's it. Love you all. Bye.